US President Donald Trump has rejected the European Union's offer to eliminate tariffs on industrial goods, including cars. The EU's proposal was aimed at reducing the trade imbalance between the US and Europe. However, Trump dismissed the offer, claiming it was insufficient to address the larger issue of trade inequality.
The European Union's been very bad to us. They don't take our cars, like Japan in that sense. They don't take our agricultural product. They don't take anything practically. And yet they send millions of cars in a year, Mercedes-Benz, Volkswagen, BMWs. They're sending millions and millions of cars into the U.S., but we don't have a car that's been sold to the European Union or other places, but let's go for the European Union. And it's not going to be that way. It's got to be fair and reciprocal. It's got to be fair. It's not fair.
The European Commission is likely to present its response to Trump's latest tariffs as soon as next week. The Commission plan would be then finalized in consultation with the EU's 27 member states. The new tariffs impact over 70% of all EU exports to the US, valued at over $585 billion in 2024. US shares the second largest trade deficit with the EU at over $235 billion. Trump argues that the EU was formed to create a competitive bloc against the US, pointing to the large volume of cars Europe exports to the US while limiting American exports to their markets. In his White House meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Trump describes the EU's trade policies as a monopoly that disadvantages the US economy. While Trump remains firm on his position, the EU is in a state of flux. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen responded by reiterating the EU's willingness to remove tariffs on industrial goods, but warned that Europe is ready to defend its interests through countermeasures if necessary.
We stand ready to negotiate with the United States. Indeed, we have offered 0 for 0 tariffs for industrial goods, as we have successfully done with many other trading partners, because Europe is always ready for a good deal, so we keep it on the table.
Guterres Pablo is now joining us from Brussels. Pablo, good to see you, and thank you very much for joining us at this hour. We know and we understand that EU 27 member states are set to react in the next 1 week, but there are already rumbles in the stock market. The stock market is continuing to tumble. What's the situation in Europe at this moment?
Well, the tough talk by President Donald Trump is certainly not helping the situation here in Brussels. They're getting ready to place a tax, a 25% tax, targeting a wide range of American products. We're talking juice, tobacco, even gym equipment. And this move could affect around $1 billion worth of goods from the United States. It could be enforced as soon as this summer. Now, let's talk about this, because this new 25% proposal on a wide range of products follows a breakdown in talks that were aimed to basically do away with that U.S. metal tax that's being placed on the European Union. Just yesterday, on Monday, Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said that she was ready to throw in this olive branch, offering a 0 for 0 deal, saying that the European Union is looking to negotiate with the United States in proposing this 0 to 0 deal to eliminate all tariffs on those industrial goods. But soon after, U.S. President was asked about this situation, he said no. He said, we're not willing to do that unless Europe agrees to buy about $350 billion of American oil and gas. He says because that is the amount of the deficit, the trade deficit between the EU and the United States. That's how he came up with that figure. Now, today, the European Commission is looking to sit down at the table, is looking to engage with the United States. We were in Luxembourg yesterday where commissioners met. They said, look, we have a team ready to deploy to Washington, D.C. and begin these negotiations. We do not want a trade war. We want to find a solution. So that is the issue right now. The EU looking to avoid this conflict, this escalating conflict. And just a few minutes ago, a spokesperson for the EU issued a statement. She said, we are absolutely ready, listen to this, to discuss and negotiate with the United States on terms of energy. So for now, the window of negotiation is still open. It remains to be seen, though, if, as you said at the beginning, all those 27 member states of the EU have this appetite to basically link EU sales energy demands to the tariffs on industrial imports, and if Trump's demands are seen as excessive.
All right. Guterres, Pablo, we'll have to leave it there. Let's wait and see how the EU reacts in the coming days. Thank you for talking to us today. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.